Welcome back, you guys. I am Sarah, and this is Pancakes and Pandemonium. Today is a special video. We've done a few. For those of you that are new here, I want to talk a little bit about my family and introduce you to my kids. So, Lance and I met in high school. Um, that's a story for another day. We have, it's interesting. But yes, we have been with each other since we were 17 years old. Um, we have 5 kids. Now, 3 of our kids, all the boys, are on the autism spectrum. They are all high functioning autism, but on the spectrum nonetheless.
You're thirsty.
So people tend to think that high functioning autism means that it comes with less challenges. Not true. It comes with different challenges. I will say, as far as health issues and autism and severity, having 3 kids, I can attest that they're all very different. But I can also attest that we are very lucky. Lucky in their dispositions, lucky in their abilities, and we've also been very, very blessed in areas, even areas where maybe we weren't in the best schools. I have always had at least a handful of really amazing teachers and advocates to turn to that has helped us along the way. They are most certainly angels. And then I have my girls, and my girls are neurotypical. Um, Gracie's behind the camera, like, what the what? Um, for layman's terms, that means normal, but I mean, normal's subjective. Um, it's just whatever. Nobody's normal. Um, but um, it's a fun family. We are loud. Um, we are kind of crazy. On the other hand, I would say we're not super adventurous if you want to know the truth. We're kind of a bunch of crazy homebodies. Like, you're never going to walk in, well, that's not true. You could walk in sometimes on an occasion and it be totally quiet. I mean, right now, it's totally quiet. But what you can't see is Ryan and Gracie are having this kind of thing going on right behind you. Like, Ryan's like, and Gracie's like, and because I was like, we're doing this, you guys try to be quiet and respectful. So, but I want to introduce you to the kids, and I want to tell you a little bit about them and their personalities and things you might notice. Um, it's a it's a fun crowd. We have a lot of fun together. We really do. We spend a lot of time together, especially the last couple of years. Um, really quick, I miss school. So they're not in school right now. Well, they're virtual learning. But when they enrolled in school in the fall, we were kind of filling out the moving situation. And so we decided to do virtual learning. Plus, we had heard some iffy stuff going on in the district. So we were like, okay, virtual learning. And then we were for sure moving. So we're like, virtual learning is the smartest thing to do because they will be transitioning a lot. Sorry, I lost my word there for a minute. They will be transitioning a lot, and if they don't have to like physically start school, meet people, or try to meet people and have all of that stress, plus the COVID-19 mask and all of that stress, and then unenroll in a few weeks, and then re-enroll, then unenroll, they're still re-enrolling and unenrolling, but they're doing it with as little trauma to their systems as possible. Sometime after the holidays, we will most likely be moving, unless something changes with the job situation, which there's really no plans of that. So, most likely we are moving sometime after the holidays when we can save enough money for deposits, rent, you know, the things that make life livable. So, we will see what happens from there. But they will be changing schools again. At the point that we are in an area settled, words, words are hard, you guys. Words are hard. Once we get to kind of a landing pad and we're gonna be settled a little bit longer, they will physically go to school. Mask regulations or not, they gotta go. That being said, I adore them, and we've definitely learned some great lessons together and have had fun together. But it's time for you guys to get to know the Powell kids. Now, as for Lance, he does not like to be on camera. He's also not here. So we'll do a intro with Lance when he's up for it. Might take some softening up. Maybe I'll find him some Nikes for Christmas or something that'll make him happy. He misses running, so he wants some really good running shoes. So we'll see. But for now, we're gonna get started with the kid introductions. What do y'all think? Okay, this is Ryan. This is number one. This is my boy, Ryan Edward. He loves anime, and we've done a lot of talking about the rules and things around anime, and he is very reasonable. He is the first one when he wants something that I won't allow to think really hard and come up with a compromise or a solution and offer it without getting angry. He is such a people pleaser in our family. He is the best babysitter. He, yes, he babysits. We trust him to babysit. And he does a fantastic job. He's massive. I can't believe he's 17. Um, Guys, he's just a really great kid. He does not love school. But
No.
he works hard. He does his best. He does the best in his capabilities.
Yeah.
And in the last year and a half, 2 years, he has really learned to advocate for himself and his needs in school, which has been really cool to watch. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Ryan?
Oh,
They're getting to know you.
yes, yes. Have you mentioned about the babies about me?
He's the baby whisperer too. He always loves the babies and can coax them into coming to him, even when they will go to nobody else. Um, like, he makes us nervous in church because, there's this big kid that's sometimes kind of awkward going up to a lot of times people we don't know very well or just met, and he's like, I'm gonna play with your baby. And we're like, oh, no, no. And we have had very few people respond negatively to him. As a matter of fact, one of my very best friends, one of the things that drew me to her was she was his Sunday school teacher, and she had just had her second child, Ben, and um, Ryan would like come to find us in church, like holding this baby, and I would be like, what are you doing? Like, you cannot do that. Like, you cannot just go pick up other. We had just had Mason. Ben and Mason are just maybe 6 months apart in age, and like, so, gosh, yeah, Ben was 6 to 9 months, and it's like, you cannot do that. no, no, it's okay. Like, I don't know if it's okay. Is it okay? And so one day I was kind of lecturing him, and they came up, and I was like, I am so sorry. Like, he took your baby. They were like, her and her husband, they were like, oh no, he does it all the time. It's great. He's so helpful. He's happy. Ben's happy. We're all happy. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And like, they could have just been like, this kid who is notably different, like, wants to hold our baby all the time, and instead they were like, this is a tool. He pays attention in class. Um, he's happy, and it keeps our baby happy while we're teaching. And at that particular time, Ryan, her husband Ryan, it does become an issue sometimes. He was working an odd schedule, so he wasn't always there. And so, or maybe that was with Elena. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But either way, they loved it. They loved him, and before I knew it, it was like we were like family best friends. Um, good times. But we've seen it everywhere. We saw it in Texas. He just, he's great with the babies, and most people love him and are perfectly happy to let him sit there and coo and talk to their babies. And yeah, and they, if the baby is shy, they'll really gently be like, oh no, like, you can't hold him, but you can talk to him or her. Um, but he's won several over. He's got a gift for sure. He was definitely meant to be the oldest of this crew. He's helped with all the babies at his own insistence. Um, it would terrify me when I had Mason. I would come out of the bathroom, and Ryan would have him like up on the changing table changing him, like, perfectly though. And finally I just, they say, like, let go and let God, right? I mean, um, it was my last two kids that I really learned to, like, not be so anxious and control everything, and Ryan really helped me with that. But yeah, this is our Rai. This is my Alex, number two. This boy is full of surprises and has been literally since day one. I had no idea I was pregnant with him until I was well past 20 weeks. So he was my shortest pregnancy.
And surprising, I'm still alive to this day.
Like, of course, I've kept him alive. He's hilarious. Um, I don't even know what to say after that. Oh my gosh. I'm still alive to this day. See? Um, yeah, gosh, this is my techie kid. We have a kid phone that if you didn't know better, you would swear it was his phone. He's always got music in his ears. He is almost always the first one to find the YouTubers the kids all like. He is just funny. Um, he has always been a joy. He has always been the sweetest, quietest kid. Always. He's always been a little bit of a loner. And I mean since a baby. He preferred his playpen and his stuffed animals. Um, and he would walk around, and he would walk around this, like, play area we had in the duplex we lived in when he was a baby. And we had like a corner that was like U-shaped that had all their toys in it. He loved that. He would walk around that, and he would walk around his playpen. He would not walk anywhere in the house. Like, he would just, just like sit and reach, and you'd put him down, and he'd pull his feet up, and like, no, like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not walking around here. You seen the other child in this house? Like, I will get mowed over. um, Him and Ryan have both been huge electronics drawn kids. We used to buy them back in the day. Walmart used to sell these little tiny universal remotes. Think about the size of a Roku remote. They were about that size and a little bit wider, and they were $4.88. We used to buy them those to play with. They had no interest in toy phones. They would play with our old cell phones. They wanted the real deal. They had no time, especially this one. He had zero time for like yellow and white plastic. He had no time for Mickey Mouse's voice on the other end. He wants the real thing to work.
And when I used to just, when back in the day, Dad and Mom would just call me, and I would not respond because I was too attached to the TV, and then they would disconnect it, and I would always find a way to reconnect it.
We had a TV in our room, and so not only that, but we would disconnect it when we left the house so that they were paying attention or doing any chores we gave them. Now, here's the kicker. The cord that had to be disconnected for it to work, we would take with us. We tried hiding it, didn't work. I mean, this kid on a mission, I mean, he can't find his shoes getting ready for school or church that are right in front of his face, but you hide the TV remote or the main connecting tool to the TV, he's going to find it. And he's going to find it quickly and efficiently. Um, so one day we decided to take it with us and put it in my purse and came back and the TV was fully functioning. To this day, we have, and I don't even know if he knows what he did. He just knew he was going to make it work. So,
To me, it just felt so obvious, okay?
um, so that's a little bit about our Alex. Again, all of our kids are super sweet natured. He is funny. He is entertaining. He is sweet. It just, he's everything the Lord knew we needed in our family. This is Gracie, number 3.
No matter which way we go.
We love asking her, should we go in birth order or reverse birth order?
And I always go, well, either way, I'm third.
She is the child that always was. I fell in love with her name at an age when I should have had no concept of having babies. Not really babies, but you know, one of my absolute favorite singers, Faith Hill, had a daughter named Gracie, and I just love that name. And I thought, oh, that's gonna be the name of my first daughter. And
here I am.
I was 14 or 15 around the time that became a thing. And so when I got married and we would talk about having kids, it was always, I'm gonna have a Gracie. I'm gonna have a Gracie. Ryan and Alex, they were Gracie before we knew they were boys. So we say she's the child that always was. She is, I don't know if she's the peacekeeper as much as she is the one that like rounds it all up.
The voice of reason within these crazy heads.
I don't know, cause she's not like, oh hey guys, like she's the one that's just like, no, like here's how this goes, get it together, and they're all like, she has spoken.
The rulemaker has spoken.
Yeah, she is. Um, she's in that spot where she is old enough to relate to her brothers, and they have shows and YouTubers that they like similarly. But she's also at the age where she can still play and identify and entertain the little ones.
I'm in the middle.
She's she's my kid that likes to have her own planner and her own schedule, and she doesn't care what's going on as long as there is very little change to it. Okay, so my battery died. There'll be a little glitch there. But as I was saying, she is less flexible with sudden change than her autistic brothers are.
I'm picky.
If she has enough notice, or feels like she has enough notice, like she can totally go with the flow. But if we spring things on her, she is the first one to be like, no, you said we were doing this. We already decided this. She is
Stick
very,
to the plan.
Yeah. If things have to change and she has enough warning, she's the total opposite. She's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Like, just, but she's a joy. She is lately into baking. She makes amazing brownies.
Yes, I do.
She's a wonderful help. She's just all in all a really good girl. I felt bad. Her first year in our church, she would have been in Young Women's. Well, she is in Young Women's, not would have been. But, of course, she turned 12 in 2020 when no girls camp. She didn't even.
Thanks, COVID.
She was first counselor in Texas and didn't even really get to, like, minister or serve, like, with her girls or her class president.
So thank you, COVID.
But she's always the first one willing to jump in. Brand new ward, doesn't know one girl in the bunch. Young Women's leader says, does Gracie want to go to our activity with us? We're going to the movies, all COVID safe, social distancing. They rented out a theater. Anyway, we'll come get her. I'll ask her, you know. And so I asked Gracie, and she's like, yeah, all in. She doesn't have to know anybody. She can make anybody feel comfortable and anybody feel loved. She is usually loved by everybody, but one thing I love most about her is she is drawn to the underdog. She could easily probably be one of the most popular girls, and she will always reach out and be friends with people who need it the most. She is just, and she's wonderfully creative. She loves to write fan fiction and her own stories, and she works on these stories and, like, what's the word I'm looking for that you write with Marianne?
Fan fiction?
No, but it's a collection. She writes, like, story collections that go together.
Series?
Yeah, series. She's so smart, you guys.
I'm sorry, I can't.
That's my girl. This is Gracie, you guys. She's amazing.
Oh, one more thing you forgot.
Oh, what's that?
The animal whisperer.
She is the animal whisperer. She is the animal lover in her family. She always talks about working with animals. All of our animals tend to love her the best.
Besides Dad.
And I'm pretty sure if we have a house where it's allowed, or once we have our own house, it's gonna be a mini zoo. Because I love animals, and she doesn't even feel compelled to, like, ask or run it by.
If I want an animal, it's gonna happen.
She'll just show up with, you know, a kitten that was
on the road or
yeah, like, you just never know. I mean, she's tried to bring in snakes before.
I have.
And we have to draw a line somewhere. But yeah.
I will find a way to twist an animal in.
But the animals we have had over the years, even when we had chickens, like, man, she was all in. Okay, side story before we do Mason. So we had chickens before we moved to Texas.
14.
Yeah. And in our batch we got a rooster. He was a jerk. So we had a very aggressive rooster. Our hens would not lay.
I think they were too scared to lay because
we, yeah.
watching them.
I mean, they were well over time they should have laid eggs, and they wouldn't lay eggs. Um, I mean, and he was mean, like, you know, the kids.
He would peck at them.
Yeah. So I have my dear friend Marilyn, who we were talking about with Ryan. She got chickens at the same time. She loves her roosters. She got two, I believe, right off the bat.
I think so.
Loves her roosters and is so good with them. So she was like, well, I'll give them a shot. Because I was like, I don't know what to do. And it was a very rare circumstance we could have roosters in the area we lived in. Most people don't want roosters, can't have roosters, or don't need roosters because they live on land, they have their chickens, they already have a rooster. Like, they're just not. Anyway, so my conclusion was, I think we're gonna have to eat him. So give me a couple weeks with him. And after like a week, she was like, oh no, like he's the devil. And I was like, yeah, no, he's bad. And so we got together, learned the skill as family friends, how to harvest roosters. And we did it on a Saturday, and we enjoyed Sunday chicken. Except Gracie. She didn't care that he was mean to her too. She didn't care that he was abusing every hen in our hen house. Like, she was on full blown protest. She was not eating.
I didn't eat chicken for like months.
It took her a long time.
And then
we had, cause I mean, he was, you know, I mean,
he was a
he
big
wasn't
rooster.
even a year old. He was a small rooster. He wasn't even a year old.
He ate all their food.
Yeah, he got big, but still, like, he wasn't old and tough. He was, you know,
pretty young.
but, you know, once, you know, got everything, he was small enough that we knew it wouldn't stretch between two families. And so they pulled chicken out of their freezer to add to it. She wouldn't even eat the chicken that wasn't him.
I didn't eat chicken for so long.
She was traumatized. But then, right when we moved back, they needed help harvesting some of their chickens, same family. It was cold. I couldn't help with this one. Joints and everything, and issues that come with it.
They had me come over to help because Dad had to help, and since
when
he
we
has
weren't
joint problems too.
And we weren't sure how helpful Lance would be.
They weren't sure.
Blood and
sure
stuff
if
isn't his thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it was snowing. It was this whole thing. The kids loved it, even her.
Em hated it. Mace was freaked out, and I was sitting there going, "Whoa."
Em did not hate it.
She knows herself.
Em knows how to play up the drama. Em was fine. But yeah, she helped and was all in, and maybe it had to do with the fact that they weren't her pets. Maybe a little bit of maturity at the same time, but she really jumped in and learned a new skill, and we were all really proud of her, all of us. That is the best part about having best friends who work as bonus family members. I mean, really genuinely, we were all very proud of her. She did really good.
It was cold, couldn't feel my fingers, but it was fun.
She loved it. So that's a little bit about my girl here.
Yep.
This is Gracie. Okay, guys, this is Mason. If you're keeping count, number 4. This is my marble Lego car truck peanut butter and jelly balloon loving kid.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
I like the balloon pump and the balloons.
Yeah, they just found a balloon pump today, and oh my gosh. School is not the love of his life. We really struggle with attentiveness and extra energy with him.
Last time I lost my kennel by got a new one.
And dinner is not the love of his life either. He is my pickiest eater, but he is probably my most gentle souled kid out of all five. He is just so sweet and so tender hearted and so loving, and he worries about feelings and feelings of everybody around him, and he has the sweetest tender feelings in his little heart. He is such a sweet boy. He's definitely I don't want to say mama's boy because I'm afraid this will like haunt him like indefinitely, but he's my boy for sure. Um, he is the little soul that we never knew we needed until we knew we needed him. We thought we were done after Gracie. Like we had two boys, we had our girl, our hands were full, and then I thought, I want another baby. And maybe we'll have a girl, and then we'll have two boys and two girls. And it'll be perfect. And so the thing about Ryan, Alex, and Gracie, they all were born on sleeping schedules. Look, I don't make them up there. He makes them and sends them down. I got 3 amazing 6-hour sleepers right out of the gate. So I was like, we can do this. Gracie's almost 4, plus our kids are great sleepers. Baby number 4 will be amazing. And this little guy just rolled in, kept us guessing and on our toes from day one. I mean, and just, oh gosh, I just remember holding him on my chest the night he was born and just being just flooded with all the love and just the testimony that it didn't matter if he was a little girl or not. Like, he was perfect and was absolutely meant to be here. Me and him have had a special bond from day one, huh, buddy?
Yeah, and I'm the second animal lover.
He's just the sweetest, hardest kid, so tender, wants to be friends with everybody, wants to make sure everybody's included, he has the most energy, but it's such a joyful energy. Like, he's not destructive. He can be accident prone, but it's not on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, he is just when he is just running around in high energy, it is happy. Like, he is just like flailing and is just you just hear and see pure joy. Like, it is just remarkable. Um, and even though he doesn't sit still and doesn't love to sit still and read, he's a fantastic reader. And um, we realized that he wiggles around and he doesn't test well, and what he knows doesn't always turn up on paper well, but he pays attention and it's getting in there because he can just recite things like it is nobody's business. I mean, he has been doing like intricate Legos designed for older kids since he was 5 or 6 years old. Um, at 6, he was taking the boys' great big old like Harry Potter Lego sets and stuff like that,
And I would create things with the Legos.
and putting them together exactly according to the picture. You know, um, I mean, he knows his stuff. Um, he is high energy, high love, high joy. He is just he's just brimming with all of the good things. Definitely, definitely amazing and a gift.
And for some reason I'm attached to electronics.
It's genetic. It just they all are. They all are. I don't even know if it's genetic. It's like the generations, right? I mean, I can't be the only mom who looks around at her kids some days and is like, all right, enough. Like, put the screens down. Let's have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Crazy. Um, but he's such a special little boy. He just makes my heart full I love him so much. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I would make brand new things, like unique things. I would follow Lego sets. I would get certain Lego sets that I would look at the picture of the sets and see if they're fun to build and fun to play with, or if they're like boring to build or boring to build.
Legos are the only time he can sit still for hours too, by the way. Like he can, if he starts a Lego set, you don't hear from him for quite a while.
Yes. I am quiet when I build. The sets, they have Lego sets, they have instructions, which is made out of paper, so you can know what the instructions is basically what they tell you where to put. Like, let's say you were building a fire truck. It would tell you to put something like on the bottom or on the top. It tells you exactly what you need to place, where you need to place the Legos. And it could be good for doing life hacks. Like for example, a key thing. You can in keys they have a little keychain. They have a keychain, and you can, and there's Legos that is a 2x2, and it comes out as a semicircle, and it puts in the Lego inventors puts it right on, and you can put things in the middle of it, or and you can connect it on it, and it can just and you can stick it to your wall, roof, floor, whatever. And that's where you put your keys.
He is the best, you guys. You see that? This is my boy, number 4, Mason Cruz Powell. True story. Okay, we're back. It's number 5. She has something she'd like to say.
We went in first order, people.
We did go in birth order. We also asked her because she was like, I don't want to go first. And I was like, are you sure? You typically like to go first. Because that is how she is. And she was like, no, I do not want to go first. So we went in birth order instead of reverse birth order, which means per birth order, she's last. She's my ham. Put my shirt down. She has made herself known far before I was actually pregnant with her. Her spirit is a strong spirit and a strong personality. Her name was never a name on my radar. Had we chose her name probably would have been Isabel. That was the name next in line for us. And I was prompted with her name, her exact name, Emily Ann. And both times we discussed changing her name, I went into premature labor. I don't think it was a coincidence. She is, she's my silly, she's my energetic, she's my baby. She's also my fashionista. I've always said, Gracie is just my nature girl, so into everything nature and calming and soothing. Em is like my she's my sparkly glam girl, like in your face, like boom, here I am, ta-da, loud, bang, bright pink, sparkles, flowers, like.
Don't say that on camera, please.
So
Someone
like,
has something to say.
what is it, Emmy?
Our Elvin came instead of Tree Tree because Tree Tree's probably our Texas elf, and Elvin's probably our Utah elf, but probably Tree Tree got signed to another house for kids, and Elvin is Tree Tree's brother, so he came.
I think there's a good possibility that Tree just got a training promotion.
What's a training promotion?
So he's training other house elves on how to do their jobs.
We apologize for the sudden interruption, guys.
It's fine. We're fine.
Pandemonium.
You'll meet baby number 6 in a minute.
We're gonna have baby number 6.
We have baby number 6.
Oh, it is Sasha.
It's Sasha. But yes, she's my baby. She can do anything. She can do anything. She is super smart. She is super talented.
I'm not smart.
She's humble.
She just has to feel like it. You know, for instance, I have been working with her sight words and reading, you know, since she's been in school. And some days, like, she acts like she can't even remember the sound the letter makes. There's a whole thing going on behind the camera, y'all.
Yeah.
You
don't want to see that.
Some days she acts like she can't even remember the sound of the letter to sound them out, and then you have days like today where she just blows through 5 books in her sight words, no issues whatsoever, because she felt like it today, because I offered them candy today.
We can't have candy.
We'll get it down after dinner. See? But this is my baby. What would you like to say about your personality? And then, I'd love to tell you a cool thing about her name. So, Gracie wanted her named after her. And we were like, oh, like, you're so little, we can't do that. And so we spelled the ending of her name the same as Gracie's. So both of their names end in an IE. Okay. And we knew we were going to call her Emmy. And no spelling of Emmy ever looked right to me. Through age 5. 4 or 5. Nothing ever looked right to me. I'd hit close and it just wasn't right. It didn't suit her. And one of the sisters I went to church with in Texas. Can you sit down next to me real quick?
Sure.
Her family heritage is Finnish. And she spells her name with 2 I's. Her name is Tina. And this is just one of the most amazing women I have ever met in my life. She is dynamic. She is powerful. She is smart. She is talented. She is beautiful. She is driven. She is kind. She embodies the spirit so much. She is just an amazing woman. I really have so much admiration for her. And when she explained that the 2 I's in Finnish is the E sound, her name's Tina, it just clicked. I went home and wrote out Emmy, E-N-M-I-E, or I, and I was like, I can speak, E-N-M-I-I, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is it.
Yeah.
That is it. That is her. And I love that it was inspired by such a dynamic person that I have so much love and respect for. And I don't even think I've ever told her that. So I maybe should share that with her one of these days. But I love that it came a little late, but the inspiration for the way we spell Emmy has so much meaning and these really cool dynamics behind it. But as you can tell, she's the wild card. She's the baby. She keeps us all on our toes, but we all secretly love it, huh, Em?
No.
You want to add anything before we say goodbye? Before we do Sasha?
Hold on. First, be careful. Sasha is a mean one. Bye.
Okay, so you've met the kids, you'll see so much more of their personalities and so many things develop. Um, this going on right here, I was gonna send them out of the room, or at least behind the camera to do the outro, and then I was like, well, no, because that defeats the purpose. This is real life. This is what we are. Um, that's why I love the name Pancakes and Pandemonium. Um, it works a little bit because I love to cook, and it's a crazy big family. And I also like to say, life is crazy, but it's also delicious, and it just doesn't get better than this. I'm glad you got to hang out with us. I'm glad you got to meet each kid, and I can't wait for you to see more of us. As always, like and subscribe, comment, and share our videos, guys.
We
Bring
like the
people
support.
over. We would like the support, and we can't grow without you, and we would love to grow and be able to make this, a fun family adventure together. But yes, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and come back. We can't wait to see you again.